Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining me again here at the Blue Lotus Mindfulness Meditation Center in Brainerd, Minnesota. And I'm very pleased to have you all back here again today. Today is September 21st, and it is now 6 p.m. And today, you may catch my eyes going a little bit back and forth. I'm attempting to do Facebook Live at the same time, and so I have two different cameras operating simultaneously, so I can present to a larger audience via Facebook Live, obviously, and via my YouTube and Instagram channel. So feel free to watch via any platform that suits you well. However, I will only be able to probably respond to the live chat from either the YouTube or the Instagram channel for following. So anyway, again, thank you for joining me again on this wonderful late afternoon, early evening, depending on where you are, right? Beautiful autumn day. Leaves are changing, signifying the changing of a season, right? Earth is in its revolution around the sun and ending one season, beginning another. Let's start off with a nice guided meditation on bringing each other some peace and some tranquility in our lives as we are about to change seasons. So go ahead, close your eyes, relax, bring a nice deep inhalation in. Nice pause for a second or two, or maybe three. You can let it out slowly, either through your nose or through your mouth, whatever suits you best. I'd like for you to draw your attention in to the sensations or to any sensation that you can feel as you inhale. Is it cold where you are, going through your nostrils, or is it warm where you are? And feel that oxygen, that refreshing and life-sustaining oxygen fill your lungs. And then exhale. Another nice inhalation. And then exhale. You can sit in any position that's comfortable for you. You could even be laying down. Whatever suits you best. What I'd like for you to do now is visualize a nice calm lake. Maybe you're in a boat, or a raft, or a paddleboard. You're laying, or you could even just be floating in the water. It's up to you. It's all about you and what's right for you. You're laying in this lake. You feel the warm water around your body if you're floating in it, or the gently rocking back and forth. Maybe there's a slight breeze on this lake. You can see the beautiful blue sky in front of you as you lay back. It's a beautiful clear sky, very serene, very relaxing. And you see a little cloud starting to come by, just in your point of view. Maybe that cloud could represent some negative aspect or some challenging aspect that happened to you today. Did someone cut you off on the interstate or a road? Did someone say an unkind word to you? It could be anything. Maybe you were late for dinner and the family looked at you kind of funny. Any kind of negative or challenging aspect that happened to you today. And as you visualize this cloud that represents this negative aspect, this negative incident, a little gust of wind comes along, pushes that cloud away, out of your view. It's not going to interfere with your wonderful day laying out on this very serene lake, this peaceful lake where you are. You can visualize this and do this exercise anytime something negative happens, or a challenging aspect in your life occurs. The cloud could represent anything. It could represent anger, stress, fear. But the one thing that will always remain constant, the serene feeling, the sense of balance that you feel as you lay on this lake. Those clouds never come to in full view. Always right at the periphery. They don't overcome you. A few more inhales and a few more exhales before we bring ourselves back into awareness for today, for today's little talk. Welcome back from that nice relaxing meditation. A few days ago, we had someone of importance in our country pass away, right? Supreme Court Justice Ginsburg, right? She passed away a few days ago. And, I'd just like to take a brief moment to recognize, what she did and her contributions to equal rights, to civil rights, to the promotion of well-being for the classes who may not have. Oh, hello there. Look who jumped. Little grasshopper came to visit me. Very nice. She promoted equal rights, right, for all Americans. But what I would really like to point out with all of the work that she did, her friendship, right, with Justice Scalia, Justice Scalia, right, one of the most staunch conservatives on the bench. And she had a very strong relationship with him that went beyond political beliefs, political ideologies. She saw the humanity, the loving kindness that this man had, well beyond what is in line with political ideology. And that is commendable. And that's how we should be, right? It doesn't matter who we are. Look beyond what we may not feel comfortable with in somebody else's views. It's not our purpose or mission to change anyone else, but to accept who we are with loving kindness and feel the loving kindness and the compassion towards all human beings, everyone. And what I'd like to talk about a little bit more in depthly is, and I'm going to relate this to a story, right, from my childhood, and why, mindfulness is very important in how we interact with ourselves and with others. So when I was in 5th grade, I was given the opportunity for a play, right, to be in a play, the 5th grade play. It was right before our graduation into 6th grade, and the role I was offered was Snoopy, right? So it was a little Peanuts character, right? The dog and his friend Woodstock, and so forth. And before this, I was never given a speaking role, nothing along those lines. I was always in the background someplace, the tree, right, a raindrop, the townsperson, that nobody would notice or ever remember except my parents, right? One of those spots. And so I was given a really good, opportunity to, honestly, it was the first time a public speaking event, that was given to me. And, those who know Snoopy, he's a dog, right? He doesn't speak, right? He doesn't speak in any of his interactions. It's always those funny sounds with those little quotation marks or those lines above their heads or something like that. And so many months of rehearsal, right? Or it seems like many months. It was 5th grade, so it was quite some time ago, and I'm doing my best to recall how long. But, 5th grade, rehearsing, for a play in front of, an audience of people. And I knew my lines. Wasn't any problem with that. And then the night of the play, right? Night of the play in front of, the whole school. A couple times now that I think about it, right? Daytime for the students so they can get out of classroom for a little bit, and in the evening for the parents, right? The kids who show up as well. And that evening when I went up in front of the parents, All I remember is just walking in front of that stage, or walking up to the stage, and seeing the sea of people out there. It may have been Shea Stadium for all I remember, right? Thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of people. I don't know. More likely it's probably just a few hundred, moms and dads and kids and so forth. And I don't remember after that. I did my thing. I recited my lines and walked off stage to a very nice applause. And remember my teachers telling me, good job, really enjoyed it, you were funny, students liked it, parents liked it, and so forth. But I don't remember at all what happened. I was nervous. I was shy. And it was because of my training, right? I had prepared. I knew my lines. I didn't have to think. I didn't have to react, in some, unsuspecting, as a result of some unsuspecting incident or anything like that. Just went up there, did my lines, and walked off because of my training. And mindfulness can be that training too. In our daily lives, when how we interact and how we treat people, right? It's compassion, right? We all have it. We don't need to, sequester that compassion that we have towards all beings, not just people, but animals as well, right? We love them and they love us. You come home, if you have a cat or a dog, maybe the goldfish remembers you. I don't know. But when we have compassion and we are mindful about our compassion with ourselves and with others, it manifests in our daily interactions with others, and it's noticeable. And when it comes time to be compassionate, sometimes we find ourselves more compassionate with strangers or others, and that's perfectly fine too, because what happens is that compassion manifests itself and brings forth the energy back into ourselves at the same time. So it's when we are compassionate towards others, we are also compassionate to ourselves at the same time. They're not separated. There's no dichotomy in that sense, right? There is no good for someone else, not good for me. When we're good for someone else or good to someone else, we are good to ourselves. When we are good to ourselves, that comes back out being good towards others. We're able to let the positivity flow within us, the loving kindness that we all have, and that society tends to push away in us, right? It tells us to be hard or strong. And that's not the way people should be. It's not the way people are, right? Inside. Doesn't matter who you are, you always want to take care of your family, right? You always do best by them, or at least you try to, right? Your intentions may be well, or you may have well intentions to do best by them. So you do have those loving kindness and the softness and the compassion internally. It's manifesting it on the way out too. That's important. It's just as important. And so when we see people or hear people belittle others, they're actually hurting themselves as well, right? When you hear somebody raise their voice towards someone else, it hurts that person as well. So it's not only hurting someone else, right? You're hurting yourself. And when we hurt ourselves, that's not compassionate towards ourselves. That's not the loving kindness that we should be experiencing or rewarding ourselves with. In daily practices with mindful compassion towards yourself and others, it takes time. It's not going to be something that's overnight. You can start off by doing one thing, right? Holding the door for someone, right? Maybe helping somebody, with an extra bag of groceries in their car, or finding something on the top shelf, that somebody can't reach. Helping them down with that. Little acts of compassion go a long way, and it helps strengthen our internal spirits as well. And those are the changes that we can experience, as I mentioned. It's the changing seasons out here, right? See the leaves behind me a little bit, right? If you've been following me and watching the videos for past several months or so, you'll see they were green, right? They were green, now they're yellow. Some are turning red. So the seasons in our lives can change as well. And much like seasons in the year, they take time. And it's important to realize that when we want to make changes in ourselves, they don't occur overnight. They may not occur in a week. They may not occur in 6 or 7 months. But every day you try something new or continue with that loving kindness and the compassion towards yourself or others builds. And it strengthens. And then it becomes second nature. You can be like me on the play, being Snoopy, right? Not even thinking about it. It just comes out. It just comes out. We all know the experience when somebody smiles and graciously after we've helped them with a difficult task. It could even be something small as a kind comment on the internet. I recently had to leave a group simply because, just many unkind comments from adults towards a child. And the response was, well, he's just an actor. He's just a kid. He's an actor. That's his job. And I thought that was their justification for being unkind. Suppose that child read that comment. That's unkind. Be kind. Be loving towards each other and everything. You'll get more out of it because it helps two people grow. Yourself and the other person. And then from the other person back to you. And before we end this evening's talk, I would like to give a little recognition to, we had our first annual silent retreat here at the center, and we were pleased to wholeheartedly award, her name was Ashley, it was our practitioner Ashley. It was her very first time attending a silent retreat. And silent retreats are a great time. This is an all-day event from not talking, silent, right? Self-reflection, consisting of just sitting there meditating, walking meditation, right? When you walk around, you notice subtle changes from maybe, the morning and the afternoon, a couple different times. A tea meditation, right? Sitting there holding your cup, feeling the warmth of that tea. Thinking about everything that was involved in the tea that you just drank. Not just the hot water, not just the cup. Where'd that tea come from? Who put the tea in the tea bag? What about the farmer who raised the tea? So that's what we can do. And we'll talk about more of those types of meditations in future talks. But again, I would like to really acknowledge practitioner Ashley and her completing her very first wonderful silent retreat. We'll have another one in May, I think, once the weather breaks here in Minnesota, right? April's not always the best time. It can still snow up here and the ground will be soggy. So we'll do another one in May for the springtime, and again, another one for the fall next year, as well as some other ones in the middle. Anyway, don't forget to follow if you like off our YouTube channel, off of our Instagram as well. And as always, it's a pleasure seeing every one of you again and conversing with you. And I'm wishing you all a very peaceful rest of the evening, or maybe if you watch this 6 months down the road, peaceful morning or peaceful afternoon, peaceful day. Anyway, namaste, my friends.